Hello, I'm Father Dennis, pastor here at St. James. On behalf of myself and Father Greg, we welcome all of you. The spiritual directors of St. James will be presenting several mini-series of several-minute reflections and prayer on the present situation of the coronavirus to help give us some spiritual insights that will hopefully help us during this time. My colleagues include Ginger Bolton, Gabriela Garcia, Mike Nellis, Barbara Taft, and Pat Rodriguez. The spiritual effect of COVID-19 outbreak, it cannot be neglected. There are three levels of response to this outbreak, how it affects all of us physically, mentally, and spiritually. Physical, we know by self-isolation, social distancing, testing, exercise. Mental by meditation, relaxation techniques, finding joy and comfort in life. But the spiritual, the soul is the most important part of how we deal with this crisis. In this time of crisis, the fear of death, of being contagious without knowing it, of giving the virus to our most vulnerable can lead to fear, to panic, which will engender an epidemic of the soul. Spiritual well-being is alien to our daily lives. Millions of people experience during this time awareness of heart, existential dread. When will there be light at the end of the tunnel? Everybody is feeling this. All of these changes came upon all of us suddenly. It's one thing to deal with normal life stresses, but then you add a pandemic, interruption of school and work and travel and loss of income, possible loss of life, loss of food, and the effects of feeling overwhelmed isn't far behind. We are overwhelmed too fast, too soon. Almost overnight, we had to adapt. We are creatures that just don't like to change. It takes time. Changes in social distancing, adapting now to ways of new technology, more time on our hands than ever before with our families. And so all of this affects our soul. Your soul is the most important part of you, and it isn't found by running away. Be still and know that I am God. So, let's take a moment to just sort of how we deal with this. First of all, acknowledge how you are feeling during this time. If being calm is hard to do, acknowledge it. If you find yourself frustrated or stressed, acknowledge it. God wants to be present in all parts of our lives, not just the easy and serene moments. Because in the easy and serene moments, we really don't know what we're truly made of. Ask for light and insight as you prepare to review your day. Ask for God moments where God can give you those touches of His presence in your life. Take a moment to think about how COVID-19 has impacted your life. Even as we are being asked to distance ourselves from one another socially, ask yourselves what connections you find yourself grateful for. What makes you feel grounded and connected to God? Public health issues have a way of making us recognize how interwoven our lives are with others in society. It can help us realize who we may often choose not to see or connect with. If there is a person or a group of people especially affected by COVID-19 that you don't often choose to see or connect with normally, all these connections we all become aware of. If we can, let us picture the faces of these people. We see them in the faces of doctors and nurses, the elderly coming out of our hospitals and nursing homes. What connections do they have in impacting your life? For these we pray and we give thanks. Note that the emotions that you feel when you think of these individuals, pray for them. Be present to them. God gifted us with limitless creativity and imagination. Even in this time of separation and possible isolation, what is the one thing you can do to maintain meaningful connection to others, whether directly through technology or with your family? I always find that gratefulness is one of the greatest tools we have always to be aware of that is around us that we don't look at. So I'm going to share with you a few things I think of gratefulness that we need to focus on. May we who are merely inconvenienced remember those lives who are at stake. May we who have no risk factors remember those who are most vulnerable. May we who have the luxury of working from home remember those who must choose between preserving their health and making their rent. May we who have the flexibility to care for our children when their schools close remember those who have no options. May we who have to cancel our trips remember those who have no safe place to go. May we who are losing our margin money in the tumult of the economic market remember those who have no margin at all. May we who settled in for quarantine at home remember those who have no home to settle in. As fear grips our country, let us choose love. During this time when we may not be able to physically wrap our arms around each other, let us find ways to be the loving embrace of God to our neighbors. I'd like to, if I could, end with a prayer. It's called the Coronavirus Prayer. Loving God, your desire is for our wholeness and well-being. We hold in tenderness and prayer the collective suffering of our world at this time. We grieve precious lives lost and vulnerable lives threatened. We ache for ourselves and our neighbors standing before an uncertain future. We pray, may love, not fear, go viral. Inspire our leaders to discern and choose wisely. Help us practice social distancing and reveal to us new and creative ways to come together in spirit and solidarity. Call us to provide profound trust in your faithful presence. You, the God who does not abandon. We don't know what the future holds, but we always know who holds the future. God bless. Stay safe. Keep praying. And may you know we are all praying for you. God bless.